So today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Vanamalini Manjiri Mataji from Cedar Rapids, Ohio. And Mataji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.33 and onwards. So thank you so much, Mataji. Please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My Dandavat pranams to all the devotees on the call. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Shyamarasika Mataji, for remembering me to render this service. We'll start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे बृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् Hare Krishna. So we are in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are discussing about pure devotee of Lord Prahlad Maharaj, how Lord has rescued him from all kind of troubles, and we could see Prahlad Maharaj's faith on Lord. He is not even a second he was having a doubt that Lord is not going to protect him. So that kind of Shraddha and faith is exemplary, and we should be trying to develop that. When small troubles come in our life, we tend to forget, and this particular occasion today is something which is very wonderful, to be thankful of whatever we have. And maybe at the end of the session, I'll try to touch that, and with Krishna and Guru's mercy, try to speak, try to contemplate on the verses, and may try to repeat whatever we have heard from Acharyas. तस्यैव ते वपुर्इदं निजकालसेक्त्या सञ्चोदितप्रकृतिधर्मणा आत्मगूढम् अम्बस्यनन्तशयनाद्विरमत्समाधेर्नाभेरभूत्स्वकणिका वटवन्महाब्जम् 33, right, Mataji? 7.9.33. I think I'm reading the correct verse. This cosmic manifestation, translation, this cosmic manifestation, the material world, is also your body. This total lump of matter is agitated by your potent energy known as Kala Shakti. And thus, three modes of material nature are manifested. You awaken from the bed of Sesha, Ananta, and from your navel, a small transcendental seed is generated. It is from this seed that lotus flower of gigantic universe is manifested exactly as banyan tree grows from a small seed. Purport. The three different forms of Mahavishnu, namely Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, who are the origin of creation and maintenance, are gradually being described. From Mahavishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu is generated. From Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu gradually expands. Thus, Mahavishnu is the original cause of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu comes the lotus form, which Lord Brahma is manifested. Thus, the original cause of everything is Vishnu, and consequently, the cosmic manifestation is not different from Vishnu. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, wherein Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Garbhodakasai Vishnu is an expansion of Karnodakasai Vishnu, who is an expansion of Sankarshana. In this way, Krishna is ultimately the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. The conclusion is that both the material world and the spiritual world are considered to be the body of Supreme Lord. We can understand that the material world is caused by the spiritual body, and it is therefore an expansion of the spiritual world, spiritual body. Thus, when one takes up spiritual activities, one's entire material body is spiritualized. Similarly, in this material world, when the Krishna conscious movement expands, the entire material world becomes spiritualized. As long as we do not realize this, we will live in the material world. But when we are fully Krishna consciousness, we live not in the material world, but in the spiritual world. So here, so from 30th verse to 38, Prahlad Maharaj is going to glorify the Lord with respect to the cosmic manifestation, the material worlds that are created from his breathing. So when Mahavishnu, Karanodakasai Vishnu, lying down in the Karana ocean. So Karana ocean have a spiritual water. The moment we cross the so Krishna lies as Karanodakasai Vishnu. So we see that in Chaitanya Charitamrita and different places, from Krishna comes the four quadruple expansions like Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Aniruddha. And from that Sankarshana comes, from Krishna comes four expansions. And in that Sankarshana, from that Sankarshana again comes the second quadruped form. And in the second quadruped form also there is Sankarshana. And from that Sankarshana comes Karanodaka Sai Vishnu. And from Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, who lies down on the Karana ocean, who is also called as Mahavishnu, universes sprout, like how if you put mustard seeds in a bowl of a water and next day the mustard seeds sprout up, like that, when Mahavishnu is inhaling and exhaling, universes are created and universes are dissolved. And in each universe, Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, who is also called as Mahavishnu, expands himself as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and from him expands Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, who as a Paramatma resides in every living entities. So you and the cosmos are related as the seed and the tree, the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. You are the universe, its cause and effects. So here in the previous verse 31, where he from 30th actually Prahlad Maharaj is speaking about the cosmic manifestation, how Krishna is also reason for the cosmic manifestation. So some of us or many of us try to develop detachment to the material world, thinking that material world is binding us. But if we can increase attachment to Krishna and use everything in service of Krishna, even the material things in service of Krishna, we will be actually utilizing them in the right way, and we don't need to get caught up in detachment. Sometimes we focus so much on detachment that we miss the bus of getting ourselves attached to Krishna. So sometimes, if you all notice also, when we enter any gathering, and there may be so many people we love, but even there is one person whom we don't love, or we just cannot stand their presence, all our focus will move to that person rather than looking at so many people whom we love. So this attitude of looking at the things that bother us, looking at the things that we don't have, is actually counterproductive. It is not good. So, and then we forget everybody who loved us. So this material world, we don't need to hate, we don't need to detach ourselves. The more we should use all the material resources, especially the material body, which is very important that we have, is like a vehicle for the soul to reach Krishna. We should engage it in the service of Krishna. So neither we should not love it so much and pamper it so much and become so bodily conscious and work on making it perfect all the time, or we don't need to develop hate and say that, oh, anyway, this body is temporary, I have to lose it at any point of time, and not take care of it. We have to take care of it with the purpose that I have to serve using this. This is the biggest resource that I have to engage myself in Krishna's service. Similarly, anything that material that we have, if we can use it in the service of Krishna. So recently only we all have celebrated Damodara pastime. If you all noticed, the ninth chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th chapter, which explains Yashoda's trouble to bind Krishna to the wooden motor. So in that 6th or 7th verse, Prabhupada writes like one wonderful point. Everything in the house of Yashoda and Nand Maharaj is for the service of Krishna. So there is nothing material thing in their house. Everything has become spiritualized because everything is used in the service of Krishna. There was nothing, a single thing which is not used in service of Krishna and is there in that house. So we all should also, when we are gathering the things in our house, the motive should be like, I will use this in service of Krishna. Or when buying itself, whether I need it to use it in service of Krishna or this will take me more away from Krishna. Am I using it more for our sense gratification? So if we keep Krishna in center and use everything and anything in the house in the service of Krishna, we'll stop hoarding the things in our house. So we might have come across, or we ourselves may have an attitude of not throwing anything, thinking that this I may use it sometime. And then we just gather so many unnecessary things in the house. And we may not have even opened it and used it from last 10 years or 15 years. And then we have so much attachment to them also. If somebody touches them, or if somebody takes them, or somebody throws them, for 3-4 days, we'll feel very bad or we'll get upset. So we need to notice that we need to reduce our attachments in this material world. We should not use the material wealth that we are earning to increase our attachments in this material world, because already we have so much attachment to our material body, and we seek all the time sense gratification using that body. And on top of it, we are all in Gruhastha Ashrama, and if we don't follow the Varnasrama system properly, we are still attached to so much to our family, children, wife, husband. So already those attachments are very strong. And on top of it, we are attached to our houses, howsoever big or small it is. And on top of it, we are also attached to every single thing in the house. We are so much attached that if we arrange something in some way and somebody comes and disturbs it, we get upset. Or if we lend somebody something and they don't return us, it upsets us. So this all is coming because we are separating ourselves from Krishna more and more and attaching ourselves to these material things and using them in our own sense gratification rather than in service of Krishna. So the more we engage everything in service of Krishna, the more our attachment to Krishna increases and our detachment to them separated from Krishna decreases. Because everything in this world reminds us of Krishna. Because everything is, for everything, cause is Krishna. So how do we know that? Scriptures are explaining that. And all the devotees, if we see and observe the prayers in Bhagavatam by everybody, every single devotee, there are so many prayers in Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam, when we are studying, I feel sometimes one lifetime is not enough at all to study perfectly and understand full Bhagavatam and how many things Bhagavatam teaches us and how much we can get attached to Krishna and how can we make use of this lifetime to go back to Krishna. So all the prayers, anybody who sees the Lord and prays, they completely understands the Lord and they all mention how Krishna is cause of all causes. So here Prahlad Maharaj is saying 3 different forms of Mahavishnu he's explaining, and he's saying that cosmic manifestation, this material world, is also your body. And then this total lump of matter is agitated by your potentate energy as Kala Shakti, and thus 3 modes of material nature are manifested. So Krishna has many Shaktis. So the Prakriti, which is consisting of the 3 modes, Sattva, Rajas, Tamoguna, and when Krishna glances at Mahatattva, material creations form, so one of the Shakti is Kala Shakti. So everything is time, we say. Time I am, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So everything in this material world is timed because nothing is permanent. It will not stay forever. Everything is timed. They will be present at one point of time and they will be destroyed at another point of time. So how much ever, sometimes we feel as if we lose something or if we get something, it is forever, for eternity. No, it's not for eternity. Anything in this material world is not for eternity. It has a starting date and an ending date, whatsoever it may be. But some things which go with us for the next life is the reactions of what we have done, the karmas, the reactions in attaining that. Let's say if we are trying to attain something, thinking that that is for eternity, and if it is a material thing, and we are not following the scriptures and doing all the do nots that are mentioned in the scriptures, the results of those actions that we take with us for the next life, but not the material things. Everything we have to leave here and go. How much ever it is, how much ever we are attached to it, how much ever we love it, how much ever we feel that it's my need, it's anything, our body itself, we have to leave and go to the next body. So then what should be our approach when we are looking at the material things and thinking of not using them in the service of Krishna, but for our own sense gratification? On top of it, for not following the scriptures and engaging ourselves in acquiring that, is more and more going to bind us rather than giving us the happiness. So all the knowledge that we are getting from the scriptures and the practice that we have should help us in implementing what we have learned over the period of time. And our approach when looking at the material things should be connected to Krishna. If not, we are all the scriptures that we are hearing and our practice are going into opposite directions. Krishna gives opportunities to the devotees to practice what they have learned. But sometimes we miss that bus and we lament for the misfortunes in our life or for the things that we don't have. if we can properly remind ourselves how temporary is this material world and how the things are here, and how we should not be either happy or upset with whatever happening in this world, because this is a temporary world and this is not our original home, and this body is not our real body. We have a spiritual body, and our whole goal is using this body to get that spiritual body and go back to Krishna. We will be more properly using our material body. So here, everything is time. So the three different forms of Mahavishnu, Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, who are the origin and of creation and maintenance. So Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu maintains every material universe. Like Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, as a Paramatma in every living entity, also helps that body to be maintained. And Karanodaka Sai Vishnu is the cause of creation of all these material universes. Brahma in every material universe is a secondary creator. When he meditates and then when he gets instructions from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, he starts creating the living entities in each universe. But before that, each universe is created from the inhale and exhale of Mahavishnu. Thus, Mahavishnu is the original cause of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu comes the lotus flower from which Lord Brahma is manifested. Thus, the original cause of everything is Vishnu, and consequently, the cosmic manifestation is not different from Vishnu, because for everything, Krishna is the cause. So, the reason we should not be hating this material world, because this is also energy of Krishna. So, that's why we should give up the attitude of enjoying this for our own sense gratification. So we are not the masters of this material world. Krishna is the master. So we are also servants of the Lord. So we should use all these resources in the service of the Lord. So that will be the right attitude, not hating it, but using everything in service of Krishna, and also using everything very carefully and with respect, because this is not ours. We are not the lords, we are not the masters, or we are not the enjoyers, or we are not the lord of it. So we have to use it with respect and with a lot of gratitude that Krishna has provided all of these things to us. The original cause of everything is Vishnu, and consequently, the cosmic manifestation is not different from Vishnu. Wherein Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. So there are no two sources. Krishna, some people may think that the source for material world is somebody else and the source for spiritual world is somebody else. Krishna is the source of both material and spiritual worlds. The conclusion, everything emanates from me, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu is an expansion of Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, who is an expansion of Sankarshana. In this way, Krishna is ultimately the cause of all causes. The conclusion is that both material world and spiritual world are considered to be the body of Supreme Lord. We can understand that material world is caused by the spiritual body, material body becomes spiritualized when we engage ourselves in the service of Krishna. Whenever we are doing service of Krishna, for not our sense gratification, but for the pleasure of the Lord, even though this body looks like material, even though this body is going to perish, it has a start date and end date, but it actually became spiritual. So that is the reason when people say that, oh, it is just a normal stone or wood when they come to the temple. So it's not normal stone or wood. Krishna in Ishopanishad, one of the verses, if you all read the Purport, Prabhupada writes, Krishna is the master of both material and spiritual worlds. So anything material can be turned into spiritual at any point of time with Krishna's will. So when the acharyas, when the priests, when they perform those religious activities, when they install the deities, they actually invite the Lord to come and stay there in those deities. So when we are going to the temples, or when we have a Lord in our own house in temple, actually our whole house Who is the Lord? Who is the master of the house? Who is the head of our house? It's the Lord who is residing in our house. It's not the father or the breadwinner of that house, mother or somebody, whoever it is. It's actually the Lord who is residing in our house. We are all just caretakers. It is His house, and then we are just maintaining that house so that we can render service to the Lord. So the more we think of like that, the attachment to the house decreases, and we will be easily using it in the service of Krishna and service of devotees. Otherwise, we will hesitate to even host a program, to invite anybody to our house, to share our house with anybody. We get so much attached to the house. So if we change our attitude and think that I am not the master of this house, I could buy this house with mercy of Krishna, with Krishna's blessings, and actually the Lord who is residing in my temple is the master of this house, and I'm just caretaker of this house. That attitude will help us use this big resource in the service of the Lord, and even the house becomes temple, house becomes Golok Vrindavan. So wherever there is devotees, wherever there is Lord, wherever there is Tulsi Maharani, that place is Vrindavan. So all of us may not be able to go to Vrindavan and live there. That is the best option. That's the first best option that we can do. If not, wherever we are, whatever place we are, we can convert it into Vrindavan. It is not just our feeling. So we should not think that, oh, maybe I'm speculating. I'm thinking that I'm making it as Vrindavan. No, Lord says that anything, anywhere can be turned into spiritual when we engage it in service of Krishna. So our house itself can become a Vrindavan when we are engaged in service of Krishna, and when we are not doing anything separated from Krishna, and we have Tulsi Maharani and the Lord, then the house becomes Vrindavan. So anything in this material world can be spiritualized when it is engaged in Krishna's service. When Krishna conscious movement expands, the entire world becomes spiritualized. So Prabhupada is saying, first it starts from your house becomes spiritualized, and you go out and preach, you distribute books, and everybody starts reading them and trying to use everything in Krishna's service. Then this whole world becomes spiritual world also. This because it is engaged in service of Krishna. As long as we don't realize this, we live in the material world, but when we are fully Krishna consciousness, we live not in the material world but in the spiritual world. So we don't need to worry, or that's why the pure devotees of the Lord, they don't worry whether they are in earth or in the hell or in the heaven. The only thing they worry is like, I should never forget the Lord. So as long as I'm remembering the Lord, chanting, hearing, doing service to Him, I do not worry where I am, because eventually it becomes the spiritual world. So that's what here Prabhupada is writing, purport, and Prabhupada purports are so powerful and enlightening. It helps us practically to practice Krishna consciousness. 34. Tatsambhavah kaviratonyad apasyamanas tvam bijamatmani tatam sa bahirvichintya navindad abdasatamapsu nimajjhamano jaten kure katam uhopalabheta bijam. Translation. From the great lotus flower, Brahma was generated, but Brahma certainly could see nothing but the lotus. Therefore, thinking you to be outside, Lord Brahma dove into water and attempted to find the source of lotus for 100 years. He could find no trace of you. However, for when a seed fructifies, the original seed cannot be seen. This is the description of the cosmic manifestation. The development of the cosmic manifestation is like the fructification of a seed. When cotton is transformed into thread, the cotton is no longer visible. And when thread is woven into cloth, the thread is no longer visible. Similarly, it is perfectly correct that when the seed that has generated from the navel of Arbodaka Sai Vishnu became manifested as the cosmic creation, one could no longer understand where the cause of cosmic manifestation is. Modern scientists have tried to explain the origin of creation by a chunk theory, but no one can explain how such a chunk might have burst. The Vedic literature, however, explains clearly that total material energy was agitated by the three modes of material nature because of the glance of Supreme Lord. In other words, in terms of the chunk theory, the bursting of the chunk was caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, one must accept the Supreme Cause, Lord Vishnu, as the cause of all causes. So Brahma appeared from the lotus flower of the Lord. So this is what we were discussing before. Tat sambhavah kaviratonyanyad apasyamanos. Tat sambhavah. He became a happening. Brahma became Kavir, he who understands the subtle cause of creation. That is Brahma. Brahma is called as Kavir. Brahma is the most knowledgeable person in the material universe. And Brahma is not ordinary. When we are saying Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, or in the other places like the yogis goes to, we don't need to bring Brahma to our level. Brahma is not at our level. Brahma is still an enlightened, elevated, a living entity, but still a living entity. And sometimes Lord himself becomes Brahma when there is nobody to, in any universe, if there is no living entity eligible to occupy that place, Krishna himself becomes Brahma. So we should never ever develop an attitude to disrespect any Devi Devatas, because all the Devi Devatas are still very elevated and very highlighted, very enlightened than us. The reason sometimes we see them doing the mistakes is Krishna uses his own devotees, the people who are very dear to him, to teach lesson to common people. So it doesn't bring them any down. All of them are definitely having lot of merit, lot of merits than any of us. Like generally people comment on Vishwamitra, or anybody saying that, oh, Vishwamitra has given up his tapasya for Ramba and Menaka. But Vishwamitra is such a great personality that Lord Rama travels with him. And Lord Rama asked so many questions when he was taken from Dasarada's palace to protect the yajnas. On their way until Mithila, Vishwamitra, Lord Rama every day asks Vishwamitra a lot of questions, and Vishwamitra enlightens Lord Rama. If Vishwamitra is somebody, an ordinary person, he may not be associated with Lord Rama. So we should not develop that attitude of seeing only that part. Like we do that generally with devotees also. So we don't know how great those devotees are, how many great qualities they have. If we are seeing one bad quality and then we keep on criticizing or keep on sharing that with everybody, we are actually doing a great offense. So our Bhakti Latha Bija, the seed that is there in our heart, that is going to not grow if we do an offense at the lotus feet of a devotee. So Brahma is a great devotee. Brahma's prayers are so enlightening in the 14th chapter of 10th canto. So here, Satatsambah Kavir Atonyanyad Apasyamanas. He could not see. Pasya means see. Apasyamanas. He could not see who is the cause of this world. Twambijam Atmani Tatam Sabahir Vichintaya. So when you sow a seed, if a tree comes out of it, the seed is no longer visible. In the same way, he could not see because he has come from the lotus navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. He initially could not see who is what, from where this is all happening. Navanid Abdasatam Apsu Nimajjhamano. So from the great lotus flower, Brahma was generated. Brahma certainly could not see but the lotus, therefore, you be outside. Lord Brahma dove into the water and attempted to find the source. So Brahma went down into the lotus to find out who has created me, what is happening here. For 100 years, he could not find a trace. However, when a seed fructifies, so he couldn't, later he performs lot of austerities. He only hears the word thapa, 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 thapa. And then so that is what is going to come in the next verses 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. That is the process how Brahma could see the Lord comes. But here, this is the description of cosmic manifestation. So people, they say Big Bang theory or something where suddenly universe popped up. So Prabhupada is saying it is that sudden chunk has come from Supreme Personality of Godhead, because when Mahavishnu glances over Mahat Tattva, the creation starts. All the jivas inside Mahavishnu start taking bodies in different material worlds with their karmas. They get their bodies, and they all started coming into manifestation. So that is what here. one could no longer understand where the cause of cosmic manifestation is. Modern scientists have tried to explain the origin of creation by a chunk theory, but no one can explain how such a chunk might have burst. The Vedic literature, however, explains clearly that the total material energy was agitated by the three modes of material nature because of the glance of the Supreme. So the whole material creation, Mahatattva, is a small portion in the spiritual sky, and when Krishna has glanced at Mahatattva, the whole creation has started. And then Brahma, the later verses 35 and 36 and 37, Brahma does explains about Brahma's severe austerities, and Brahma sees him, and then for him, Krishna appears as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu appears as Hayagriva, or highest, and like a horse with the head of horse. That is what is going to come in further verses. So today, I'll try for my own purification from the scriptures how to understand today's importance. Today's Thanksgiving. So a day where we appreciate what we have. Generally, some people here who are born and brought up here, they have Thanksgiving dinners and they invite their family members. They gather, and then they all meet once in a year. So some families have a tradition of cooking for the whole family, and all the holiday season, like today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, they go to different houses for Thanksgiving dinners, meet their peoples, meet the family members, relatives. See, the whole purpose is not the external activity. I mean, the external activity is good because that's how we can express what we are feeling internally, being thankful of each other, like how they are there in our life and we are being grateful to it. But for many of us, it is only the season of sale, buying things that which we cannot afford. But it is so wonderful that we get the Damodar month before, and then follows by the actual Thanksgiving. Damodar month is also a sale of Krishna's mercy. We are all not qualified to attract his mercy because of our attachment to the material things or our desire. We are not so strong in our practice of bhakti. So we make use of Damodar month and we try to get a lot of benefit from the sale of Lord's mercy, and follows this, the Thanksgiving. So the whole concept here is being grateful, being thankful. Gratitude is such a great thing to have in life, which is an important component of happiness. See, the most important thing, we are not happy because most of the times we are not thankful. We are not feeling grateful. We don't have that gratitude. So we think that happiness is something which is like I will only have it when I have something. So happiness is a state of mind. So feeling grateful is actually a state of mind. Happiness in our life actually does not increase when you increase the material things. It actually increases when you are grateful to what we are having already, which we don't do mostly. We are always looking at the things that we don't have, and once we have it, something, we conveniently ignore it. So many people are constantly unhappy, constantly anxious, constantly having some kind of frustratedness, reluctance to the life, because they are always looking at the things that they don't have. They are not at all looking at the things that they have. So happiness is 50% driven by the circumstance and 50% by our mind. Because when we are having a high fever and we planned so much to go somewhere and enjoy, but because of this fever, we have to stay at home. So already we are upset because our circumstances, the fever, has actually stopped us from going into that place. But then, when we are lying down on the bed, and the whole day, we have two options at that time. One is always crying that we could not go. The other option is we can think that, oh, I did not get rest so far. So that's why my body is telling me that I need rest. The fever is actually an indication that I need rest. And if I take rest, I can get better. And I have postponed reading a book or listening to a lecture or doing something on the bed. Like I can read nicely. Nobody disturbs me now that I have a fever. Nobody asks me to come and do anything. So I can read. If I have energy, I can read. Maybe I don't have energy to read, I can listen. So the whole situation becomes different. Even though we could not go, because we have changed our state of mind to be grateful and do look at the things that positive in that situation. What is the positive thing in that situation? And we try to work on that. We are not miserable anymore as we are before. So, in any situation in our life, there will be definitely one thing that will be that if we can look at, we will be grateful of. And once we develop that attitude of greatness towards the things, appreciation of it, or saying thanks comes naturally to us. Sometimes the thank you and sorry words have become so mechanical that we don't mean them. We just tell them. They are like, they become more like a parrot. We are like more like a parrots which comes. But if that comes from inner, if we develop an attitude every time we are saying sorry or every time we are saying thank you, we really mean it. We are really grateful. And if we can express more words than just thank you, saying that I'm really thankful that you have done this to me in this way, and this has helped me in this way. If we start developing that attitude of appreciation, appreciating somebody, something in our life which we feel very grateful and thankful, actually it helps us to purify us. It helps to purify us. It helps us to become better persons, because before we are able to only focus on the negative things in the situation or negative things in the opposite person, now we are developing an attitude of looking at the positive things in the person that we are talking or in the circumstance that we are. And we are not miserable, frustrated, anxious, shouting, screaming, upset. And but we are very thankful, grateful, happy, contented. And then that actually helps us to reduce the offenses, because the opposite of that is frustrated, anxious, angry, actually leads to another offenses and then degrades us more and more. So if we can develop this attitude of being grateful every day, like all of us um, going into our altars, because we may be going through so many things in our life, we may be wanting so many things, we may be going through so many difficulties with diseases or something, or very upset that our children or our lives did not turn out in the way that we wanted. So there are so many limitless of problems and in this world. And the more we compare with others, the more those things increase, because not everybody's life is like a template driven. It is template driven by their own karmas, which are different. So everybody's life is different. And when we start comparing, we may feel like, oh, I don't have a Tesla car like somebody else have, or I don't like I have a children like somebody else have. I don't have a house like somebody else. So there is no end to it. So all the time we have developed a attitude of becoming unhappy by looking at the things outside. And then our heart, our mind is filled up with those desires, and we are constantly anxious. So those people who don't have anything to buy during this Thanksgiving break are going to happily enjoy the 4 days, do whatever is useful. And those who have to buy so many things are constantly anxious. What is the price of this here in this shop? What is the price of that in that shop? So this is how it is. This is how it is our life also. Like We constantly have hundreds of material desires, and we keep jumping from one desire to another desire. We are constantly frustrated. We are constantly unhappy. We are not grateful at all with what we are having. So every day when we wake up, the first prayer that we can do to the God is that I'm so thankful, Krishna, that I could wake up today and tell your names, and this body is still functioning, where I can use it in your service. I can tell your names, I can listen about you, I can talk about you. That gratefulness in words expressing to the Lord, being thankful, actually helps us to see the first person in this entire universe whom we should be very grateful to, because Krishna is the source of everything. Without Krishna, nothing is happening in this world. Without Krishna's permission, even a blade of grass is not moving. How he is cause of all causes, how everything is emanating from him. The beautiful place that we have seen and we felt so happy is also Krishna's mercy. It's Krishna's energy that is coming. If the things that we see in this material world are so wonderful, then how wonderful can Krishna be? We can't even breathe if Krishna is not present in our body. We can't even digest our food if Krishna has not given that fire of digestion. So there are so many things that we do with Krishna's mercy. So, and then we are not enoughly thanking or being grateful for that. So if we can start every day for being thankful and grateful to the life that Krishna has given to us, let us not compare that life with the material parameters, because that's not the purpose human body was given to us. The human body was given to us to re-establish our relationship with the Lord. It was not given to us to make a successful life in this material world. The successful life of this material body is when we are Krishna consciousness all the time. That is the success. We may be looking very poor materially, we may be looking very uh, uh, not successful materially, but that has not that is not what Krishna is looking at. That is not what for this human body was given. If we can remember Krishna all the time, if we can remember Krishna at the time of the death, antakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram. And Prabhupada says in 8th chapter, 5, 6, 7, 8 verses so wonderfully that this does not come automatically. This comes from your constant practice. So if we practice being grateful to the Lord every day and look at the positive things in our life, look at the haves that we have, not do nots that we have. What are we having? And being thankful and grateful, actually, that actually makes us happy. Gratitude actually brings happy. Appreciating others actually removes jealousy and enviousness in from us. Open heartedly, fully appreciate when you see something good in others. Like how we fully criticize a small wrong in others, we give lot of justice to criticizing. Like we won't leave a single stone left when we are criticizing others. Like, oh, you know what, everything is good, but you have left this part not correct. And so we do a very good job there. So we need to learn to do a good job in appreciating others. Anything, any small thing that you see that has they have done, and that should be not like a very like like mechanical. It should be with love and affection, really appreciating, really being grateful, really being. So then the jealousy and envy in us will go away. So we always wonder, like some people, they struggle a lot to appreciate others. They say that no, oh, they feel shy to say thank you. They feel shy to appreciate the others. We should really understand there are two obstacles for not being grateful. Like, if we are not being grateful, we are very greedy. Because why we are not grateful? Because we want even more. We are not satisfied with what we have. We want more and more, more and more, more and more. So the greediness in us and the pride in us, like sometimes we are like, why should I, this is not enough, whatever they have done for me is not enough, they should do more for me. So some people I come across, like when we say that you have to be thankful to the parents, you have to be no, they have not done that much to me, they should have done even more, they have done a good job more. So pride, like I deserve more, I wanted more, and they did not do that more. So pride and greed actually stop us from being grateful to the things that we have, because we always think that we need more, or we are always proud and we demand others to be like, we need more. So if we can get rid of these things and be grateful, because at the end of the day, whatever is happening, whatever is because we are in the path of Krishna consciousness, we are definitely getting whatever more than what we are deserving also, because generally the template of human body, human form of life is like we are just reaping the results of the karmas that we have done in the past, every one of us. But it's not like we cannot change them. We can always change them by our current actions, by practicing Krishna consciousness, by always reading and hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. Our sadhana is going to actually, is already purifying us. How it is purifying us? It is actually removing the sinful tendencies in our mind, and it is protecting us from doing sins in future. And when our sadhana is intensifying, the next step that happens is it burns the past sinful reactions. And still our sadhana is becoming more and more. It actually burns away the prarabdha karma, the karma that is ready to fructify. We already got this life because of the prarabdha karma, that is the fructified karma that we are going to endure. So it's only 50%. The remaining 50% is what we are doing right now. So it is also deciding the future, and it is also helping to change the things that we are right now enduring. So our sadhana, our Krishna consciousness should be so strong that we should be able to appreciate, be thankful, grateful to what is happening in our life. So this moment of thanksgiving, so we can make a habit, whoever is there important in our life, um, we say sincerely a thank you to them. And that we can practice. So we may be like, oh no, that gratefulness has to come from inside. No, it also comes by practicing, by start looking at the positive things in life. So it's just not that, oh, it has to come naturally, and it's not coming to me, so I will be always ungrateful, I will be always frustrated. No, actually, we need to shift our focus from what we don't have to what we have, and what we lost to what we have. So, this actually is the best healing. The content person, the satisfied person, the happy person is very difficult to get him down. Like, he's happy in any situation. So we are happy if we can develop that attitude, whether we have something or we don't have something, and when we start looking at the positive things, we'll be happy always. And we develop that positive attitude of life, and we are always enthusiastic, we are always eager to do the things, because we are only looking at the positive things. And we appreciate the people around us, genuinely we appreciate. We see that how they are able to do the things with Krishna's mercy. We see Krishna's mercy flowing in them, which is empowering them to do the things. In that way, we remove the jealousy, enviness in us. And then we will go beyond the material things, and we start looking at the positive spiritual things in our life. So all these things will happen. The gratitude, when we start developing gratitude, and when we are grateful, gratitude always brings happiness. It does not make us any low, because some people have a misconception, right? Oh, if I keep saying thanks, if I keep saying grateful, I'm grateful to you, maybe they may look down upon me. No, being grateful and being thankful is going to bring happiness, only happiness to us. And the important thing that we can start is being grateful and thankful to the Lord. Our day can start with that. So these are the few points I wanted to mention with respect to Thanksgiving, Mataji. I don't know if I have touched this, but Krishna speaks about being grateful in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and how that brings us happiness in different verses. So I just got inspired from there, and brought this discussion. I will stop here. If devotees wants to add anything or comment or correct, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for wonderful class as always, and enlightening us today morning with so wonderful nectar. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, engaging me in service of Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very, very grateful to you on this Thanksgiving Day. I've learned something that it will help me to purify myself. And I knew it is important to be grateful, but now I can link it. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectarian class. As always, we heard you after a long time. And thank you for covering the topic, also Thanksgiving and connected to Krishna consciousness. And I remember when you was explaining about qualities of devotee, like we should focus on what qualities he has instead of what he's lacking or criticizing. So Gaurang Prabhu, I was hearing Gaurang Prabhu's class, and he was sharing one pastime with Guru Maharaj Radhanath Swami. That in Chowpatty temple, when Prabhuji was there, and he was always criticizing, like he was focusing on the minus point of the devotees, and he went to Maharaj and he was telling to Maharaj that Maharaj, that devotee was telling that you did like this, and you are like this. And Maharaj was just glorifying that devotee. Oh, that devotee is very nice. He has this quality. And he was saying, Maharaj, I am telling him that he's criticizing you and you are glorifying him. So Maharaj said, we should always focus on what qualities he has. And did this Maharaj, whatever he's saying? Maharaj says, no, I didn't do that, but he is very nice devotee. So
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
So,
Yeah.
like that, Gaurang Prabhu was sharing this quality of Guru Maharaj. So I remember that. So
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, Mataji. Yes. See, they all give us that example, right? Like they all shows our acharyas are so wonderful. He's at a acharya position. He can say that, but still Maharaj is setting an example for all of us. Like, no, this is how we should be.
Yes. So 2-3 times that devotee was telling, and Maharaj was telling only, I didn't do that, but he's very nice devotee. He has this quality, this quality. So yeah, we can learn from him many things. Yeah, like our acharyas. And you explained very nicely. Yeah.
I personally, over around 15, 16 years back, when I heard that appreciating helps us a lot. Appreciating others actually removes that envy, jealousy in us. And also, actually, appreciating others will help us develop those qualities also, because we are seeing those good qualities in them and then we are appreciating them. Then we will develop a desire to develop those good qualities. And then we'll slowly go there. But criticizing is not going to bring anything unless we are in a position where we have to do that for the pleasure of the Lord, like for the betterment of a service. And that too, we should be doing very carefully, like not in public. We have to go take them separately somewhere directly and help them, like, this maybe can be done in a better way. Can you think about it like that? So that actually helps. So thank you, Mataji, for sharing Radhanath Maharaj's pastime with related to the Maharaj. And I don't know if you ever come across the book Nectar Drops by Maharaj. I have a book of that. Yeah.
I have that book, but I didn't read
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I always go and read that because I got that book somewhere in 2009 or and I don't remember long back, but I just like that book so much. I go and read those quotes sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji, I just would like to second what Shamarasika said. Sorry, you said just now, like the instructions, like we can take them positively when we are serving to the Lord directly, and someone telling us, you do this, do that, or you do not do this, that. So, like one senior disciple told me about this, like, sometimes we feel that, why, like I'm doing perfectly. Our mind may think like I'm doing perfectly, but at the same time, don't take it as a prajalpa, just take it as a positive side, positive action, and think that Krishna wants, like Krishna is telling you from their mouth during that time, during the services, basically, that's what like is,
Yeah.
it's coming from Krishna directly, like Krishna wants us to be like that. So,
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that. I am.
welcome. Hare Krishna.
So if nobody has any question or comments, we can end up the call here. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And because of you all, we are every day we are engaged in Krishna service. This call is going on since I think 17 or 18 years. So thank you all for attending, and the speakers, amazing speakers. Because of you, we can hear the nectar. So thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Vancha
Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Anant Koti Vaishnav ki Jai. नमाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय, जय प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, हर ग्रेस वनमालिनी मंजरी माता जी की जय.
Thank you,
so much,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Krishna conscious, happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Yeah.
Happy holidays. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.